Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show, ASTRO. Really, this is the first episode, but I'm deciding to put these reads on my podcast as well. So you can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're going to get 3 cards here. Happy New Moon in Gemini. Before I even look at anything, I just want to say the channeled message that I got. The new Gemini. Even if you're not a Gemini, you don't have to be a Gemini for any of these lunar cycles or transits. We have big energy in Gemini with Jupiter in Gemini until next June of 2025. So this new moon in Gemini, what I'm getting is that everything, you know how people say at the beginning of the new year, new me. This is that. This is that energy. And so even if you're not a Gemini, even if you don't have any prominent Gemini placements, it doesn't matter. It's this Gemini energy. And if you want a reinvention, if you want to shift, I would choose Gemini. Gemini is, to me, I was going to say it's a Lakshmi energy. Not necessarily in that vein, though, because there's so much abundance of knowledge. What I look at as Gemini energy, if we were to put a deity to it, would probably be Lord Ganesha. Because he is a high level of intelligence and he's also abundant, right? So it's kind of this abundance of intelligence, right? He's also the removal of obstacles. You know how people say knowledge is power? I believe that the purpose, I believe that I keep wanting to say Lakshmi. So Lakshmi is also wanting to be in this reading. Goddess Lakshmi and Lord Ganesha want to be in this reading because I feel them both on both sides of me, which is interesting because we have the masculine and the feminine and they're both gods of abundance, right? So there's something here about that. I hope you're following. I know this is a big blast right at the start of this and we're going to get these 3 cards, but the words that I got were the new Gemini. It's the new you. And I believe that this new moon is so potent in Gemini, like I said, because of the correlation with the Jupiter in Gemini energy that we have all the way through next year in 2025. Now, what this reading is this reading goes from, let's look at the exact date of this new moon. The new moon in Gemini is June 6th, okay? So this energy, it's going to go all the way until the full moon in Gemini, which is December 15th. So this is like a 6-month snapshot of this particular energy. If you tap into this energy, and let's just take a minute to do so, that we receive the wisdom of this energy. We receive this Gemini energy, this abundance of knowledge is power that will remove obstacles from our lives, help us to untangle things. I said that in a previous reading. Yeah, that was the title of the Jupiter in Gemini reading that I did. There was something about untangling in that reading. So we allow for this because I believe over the next 6 months, by the end of this 6 months, by December, you will be a new person. If we allow. And it's not always going to be comfortable. It's going to be like I said in the Jupiter and Gemini reading, it's going to be like going into a closet that you haven't cleaned out in a long ass time. And there's cobwebs and there's dust and there's a bunch of shit in there. But then you start to find oh my God, dude, I forgot about my camera. This is like a $2,000 camera. I forgot I had this thing. Oh wow, I forgot I had this dress. You're going to be finding assets. I think that's what the abundant aspect is. with the Lakshmi and Ganesha is that they have an abundance. It's almost as if we have this untapped potential, untapped skills, untapped knowledge. It's almost as if we have a key to our problem already, but it's buried in this proverbial, I was gonna say closet, but now I'm seeing a shack. I'm seeing like a shed in the backyard. This might be literal for somebody because I'm seeing like a snowblower. I'm seeing a lawnmower or something. I'm seeing like stuff, a bunch of stuff. And I'm seeing like a watch. I'm seeing like an expensive watch. So I don't know if this is literal. It might be for somebody. So, you might have like a Rolex back in your shed or something, but it could be a metaphor. An expensive watch. There is a card in this deck. I really thought it was going to be at the bottom of the deck. We're using Tarot of Mystical Moments today. This is a new deck that I've been working with. But there is a card in this deck, and I'm not going to look through for it, but it's the Wheel of Fortune, and the woman is holding a watch. This is time-based, It's almost as if that Rolex that I'm seeing, it's like I'm hearing time is of the essence. I'm hearing your time is valuable as well. There's a lot going on here, so let's just get into it. With the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck, this is that energy of like new year, new you. Ace of Wands. It's like inspiration, wanting to be more, do more, have more, right? So let's get into the cards a little bit here and see what we got going on. That was a hefty intro, which, it's Gemini. Well, we love her. All right, card number 1. Oh my God. This is the card. It scared me. This is the card. And I was thinking, because I've been working with this deck, I've been thinking about this card. I know it's hard to see on my camera, guys. Speaking of camera, I wish I had a $2,000 camera that I could go find. I've had this Nikon D3100 for years. I've filmed so many music videos on this thing. A lot of memories here, but it's time for an upgrade. But anyways, thank you for bearing with me for those of you that I have issues with the lighting and stuff. Love you guys. This Wheel of Fortune. Can you see in her hand she's holding, this is actually more of like a stopwatch. It's an old-fashioned stopwatch hanging on a chain. What does this mean? See how she is the clock in and of herself? Like there's all of these gears inside of her. That's kind of what I was saying. It's like, especially with these two deities here, Lakshmi and Ganesha, very powerful energies of abundance. It's almost like they want us to look like we're looking outside of ourselves for answers and strategies and how do I get out of this situation and how do I make this situation better and how do I make more money and how do I make this successful and how do I do this and that and this and that. Ace of Wands, all these things we want to do, right? All the things that we're inspired to do. It's like it's already within us. We are the watch. We are the clock. You know what I think this is? This is more of a demonstration, which the Wheel of Fortune is about your fortunes. We talked about these gods of abundance, right? Wheel of Fortune is abundance. It's like if you've ever seen Lakshmi, she has these buckets that are overflowing with gold coins, for example. That's this energy. But I think the fact that I saw the card ahead of time and then it revealed itself here, it's like what we're dealing with this energy is we kind of already know what we want. We know with the Ace of Wands, like see how she has this book here? Maybe you've even written things down. Maybe you have like some sort of a manifestation board. Or maybe this is just all inside of yourself. Like see how she's looking off, thinking about like, wow, all these amazing things my life could be. or this is the advice to do this, because just like that, it's going to be as quick as you having a thought, and then here's the card. Here it is. Here's the abundance. Here's the wisdom. Here's the know-how, because it's already within you. It's just kind of like working through the mess, if you will, of that proverbial closet or shed and finding the gems that are already within us. And that's very Gemini. You know, Gemini is all about knowledge. So let's look a little deeper here. Card number 2 is the Queen of Wands. See, the Queen of Wands with the Ace of Wands, this is our ticket, I want to say, with the Queen of Wands. Because when the Queen is holding her wand, Ace of Wands, she's unstoppable. And then you have this abundance energy coming in behind you because you're tapping into all of the abundance that is this Gemini energy with Jupiter. It's, you know, Jupiter is all about expansion. It's about abundance. It's about making things bigger than they are. New year, new you. This is the new you. This is the new Gemini. You know, it's like, it's coming in not only with Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands, power, confidence, individuality, creativity, talents, skills, witchery, you know, very spiritual energy, all of this stuff. It's coming in with all of that, but with this Wheel of Fortune behind you, it also denotes this is your destiny. Like, if you go for something, it's going to work because this is your destiny. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it's oversaturated. Of course it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're trying to do, it doesn't matter, because you are this Queen of Wands and this is your destiny. Male, female, non-binary, however you identify, and whichever way we look at it, it all comes back to you being asked if you will take the opportunity to live out the things you've wanted to live out. And the only thing you really have to do is just look through your own closet and look inside of yourself and see what you have. It's kind of like I'm seeing my paints. I have this, I don't know how to describe it. It rolls open kind of like a scroll, and I have all my paint brushes inside. I'm seeing that here. It's like if we will just lay it all out on the table and look at what we have, all these different trinkets, all these different things, metaphorically speaking, of course. It's almost like I'm seeing the gods coming in and helping us organize it. It's like those guys, Pawn Stars. Like, some of the items that people bring in, I'm like, how the hell is that worth $17,000? You know, you might have something within you that's worth $17,000, and it can be intellectual products. Who was I listening to? Was it Dan Coe? I think it might have been Dan Coe, and he was talking all about informational products. That's where it's at right now. And I agree with that. And I have agreed with that for the past 5 years, but you know, here we sit. And this is just a practical example. It's like, I've been thinking about putting together courses for years, all this stuff. I've been in this game for years, right? Now I'm just doing cards, but before I've always been in spiritual communities is my point. And that might be what this book is symbolizing for you as well, where it's like we know a lot of things. Gemini, you know, we have these things inside of us, Wheel of Fortune, the closet, all these things, the shed. But it's a matter of but now's the time. And you're going to feel that it's the time because Ace of Wands is the inspiration to do it. It's like, well, we know that working out is healthy, but maybe we don't feel like it. It's like suddenly your Ace of Wands, you're going to be like, screw it. I'm going on a 60-day boxing program. I'm starting tomorrow. And you do it. It's something like that. Card number 3 is Temperance. There's something about that full moon in Sagittarius that we just had. May 23rd, we had that full moon in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the opposite sign to Gemini. What is that? What is that about here? Show me what the relation is there to this. I'm hearing like you can turn your situation around, but it's up to you. Temperance is about taking what you have and kind of working with it. It's back to this Wheel of Fortune energy again. It's like laying everything out on the table, and now that we've done that, and with the Queen of Wands and Ace of Wands, we remember who we are. It's kind of like when you look through old things and you're like, oh my God, I forgot I was this person and I went this place, and here's an old ticket stub from when I went to that concert, and here's this t-shirt from summer camp back then, here's this sweatshirt from college, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like remembering, Queen of Wands, who you are, who you've been, laying all that stuff out, looking through it. And then this Temperance energy is like now taking that stuff and doing something with it, using it. Like I use the practical example of like information-based products. Like I have all this information in my brain from years and years and years and years and years, and yet I haven't done it. It's as simple as that, but I'm working on that, and I've had this literally in my journal. It's all written out. It's all planned out. This could be an example for you that you're somebody that has ideas like this as well, Ace of Wands, and you have all these great ideas, maybe when you're just meditating or hanging out in your time of journaling, whatever you do. And it's like suddenly Queen of Wands, you're going to be like, all right, it's time to get those courses together, just as an example, guys, right? You know, and that's what's going to give you the power to turn your situation around. And Temperance energy, it's an energy of like working with something. You know how he pours the cups into themselves? It's like working with it. It might not be perfect the first time, but we have to just keep like, it's like molding clay. And over these next 6 months, we're going to start to see ourselves and our lives come to a higher position. I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Meta Mystic here, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.